Well, the big news today was the fact that Shedeur Sanders suffered an oblique injury in early drills. He was shut down for the rest of practice. That's a big deal.
The NFL just got hit with a twist wilder than reality TV. The Cleveland Browns are under fire, accused of staging the biggest act since LeBron's decision. Shedeur Sanders' so-called oblique injury? Insiders claim it's faker than a Kardashian Instagram filter. The theory? The Browns benched their star rookie QB with a phony injury to buy time. Fans are outraged, rivals are mocking, and Shedeur's stuck playing hurt instead of throwing bombs. If the rumors are true, Cleveland's not just in hot water, they're boiling in it. Buckle up, because this scandal's just getting started.
Then he went over to Kevin Stfansky, the head coach, who told me after practice that Sanders complained of soreness or tightness in his oblique, and Stfansky pulled him out. He wanted him to practice against the Eagles.
The Cleveland Browns are at it again. If there were a Super Bowl for shady playbooks and PR stunts, they'd be a dynasty by now. Forget the rings, these guys are chasing Oscars. Their latest blockbuster? Claiming that Shedeur Sanders, their game-changing rookie QB, is sidelined with an oblique injury. Seriously, an oblique injury ? Of all the excuses, that's what they went with. That's like calling in sick because your left eyebrow feels off. Fans aren't buying it, rivals are laughing, and the Browns' drama just keeps getting harder to take seriously.
Kevin Stfansky said that he's going to be sidelined for some time. He said they're taking it day to day with Shedeur.
Let's be real, this whole thing smells fishier than Lake Erie in July. Shedeur Sanders didn't look hurt, didn't act hurt, didn't even wince. Yet just as the pressure starts mounting, the Browns suddenly decide he needs bubble wrap and a timeout like he's made of glass. Classic Browns. If this isn't the most on-brand move from Cleveland, then honestly, what is? The drama writes itself at this point.
Shedeur Sanders, it's come out that he's got an oblique problem and it's going to take him out for a significant amount of time. How much is significant? 1 week, 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Anybody have an opinion on that?
And you know who's really sweating in all this? Head coach Kevin Stfansky. Sure, he looks calm on the sideline, arms folded like nothing phases him, but inside he's chewing through stress like beef jerky. Because Shedeur Sanders isn't just another rookie, he's a walking spotlight, a headline waiting to happen, the kind of player that makes every camera in the stadium swing his way. Stfansky knows the moment Shedeur steps onto that field, the playbook he's been gripping like scripture suddenly feels more like a flimsy stack of post-it notes.
We've seen the small sample size of Shedeur Sanders with the ones for a short period of time, the 2s, the 3s, and the 4s. So we know what he can do. We saw how he played, with the lights are on, with the pressure's on, and the bullets are flying for real.
So what does a nervous coach do when staring down a star who could eclipse him? He spins a story. Enter the Browns' fairy tale, Shedeur's hurt. Don't ask questions, just nod. Ignore the quarterback sprinting and stretching like he's prepping for the Olympics. Nope, nothing to see here. Just a fragile oblique, they say. Better bench him now, before he shatters defensive schemes and maybe the entire league in half.
It's oblique, right? I think part of the problem, guys, is the guy wasn't getting a lot of reps in practice, right? He was, fourth on the depth chart?
Right.
All of a sudden, he's forced into a start last week. His body probably wasn't prepared. He probably threw the ball more in that game than he had probably.
You think
weeks.
that's going to cause an oblique problem?
And let's not breeze past the comedy of this excuse. An oblique? Really? That's the best they could come up with? At least throw in a torn ligament, a dislocated shoulder, something juicy, the kind of injury that fuels ESPN debates for 3 weeks straight. But no, the Browns went with oblique. That's football's equivalent of my dog ate my homework. Imagine being an NFL franchise worth billions and pulling out that excuse like it's top secret strategy. Experts immediately poked holes in it, doctors, trainers, even former players pointing out Shedeur's had this supposed injury before and played just fine. Picture the boardroom scene, an assistant nervously says, Coach, Shedeur looks okay. Stfansky slams the table, okay is dangerous. Okay gets me fired. We're saying he's hurt. Oblique. Sounds medical enough. And everyone else, too scared to disagree, nods along like backup dancers waiting for their cue.
I got a chance to talk to 40-year-old Joe Flacco, who's right now number 1 on the depth chart, about how Shedeur Sanders is handling the ups and downs of being injured, not being able to practice, starring in a role against the Panthers in his first preseason game. How is he handling the spotlight? Here is Joe Flacco's answer. Listen to this.
Shedeur does a great job with that. I mean, I think I think he's been around it a good amount, so he knows how to handle it and stay even and not really let it affect him. So
this is the Browns we're talking about. The same franchise that convinces itself every offseason it's on the brink of greatness, only to collapse like a dollar store lawn chair once September hits. Excuses? They've turned them into an art form. If losing were jazz, Cleveland would be Miles Davis. And now, instead of unleashing Shedeur Sanders and finally giving fans a reason to believe, they're dusting off the old injury fiddle yet again. The kicker? Fans aren't buying it. Browns fans know pain, but they also know a scam when they see one. They've endured enough quarterback soap operas to recognize a rerun. This isn't protecting your future, it's sabotaging your season. Meanwhile, rival teams are doubled over laughing. In Pittsburgh and Baltimore, they're not worried about Shedeur's oblique, they're wondering if Cleveland's front office is spiking the water coolers. Other franchises unleash generational talents. The Browns invent excuses to hide them.
Who like him? Other than a couple of speeding tickets, my understanding is he hasn't done anything wrong since he got there. Like, he's handled everything, taken the coaching. He has not, he's not acted like, he's owed anything.
And oh boy, Kevin Stfansky. Let's really talk about this man. He's treating Shedeur Sanders like the boogeyman who sneaks into his office at night and erases the playbook. Every coach claims they dream of a franchise quarterback, someone who changes the game, rattles defenses, and defines an era. But Stfansky? He's pacing his living room muttering, "Not like this, not like this." Because the second Shedeur becomes the face of the Browns, guess who fades into irrelevance? Exactly. Stfansky turns into background furniture. So instead of embracing greatness, the Browns default to their specialty, panic. And look at the timing. This injury just happens to show up right as Shedeur gains momentum, racks up headlines, and makes defenders look like traffic cones. Suddenly, the coach and front office slam the brakes, slow down. If he keeps this up, fans will expect wins. And God forbid the Browns actually deliver wins, they've been allergic to success for decades.
The doctor
You are
knew I
reaching.
play one on TV. I'm just looking for an answer, and that's the only thing I could come up with. But don't know much about the oblique area like we talked about yesterday. But you would imagine it would probably be about a week or two. But for his development, you kind of hope it's not that long.
You know what this really comes down to? Fear. Pure, unfiltered fear. Shedeur Sanders terrifies Kevin Stfansky. Every deep throw, every highlight, every grin the cameras catch, Stfansky feels his grip on the Browns slipping. The fans aren't chanting his name, they're chanting Shedeur. They're buying Shedeur jerseys, tweeting Shedeur clips, turning the quarterback into the star teacher while Stfansky looks like the substitute trying to keep order. And the solution? Invent a flimsy injury and slam the pause button. Because the Browns are allergic to nice things. It's like their team charter has a secret line: if anything good happens, immediately set it on fire. And Stfansky? He's the head arsonist. The man couldn't manage a Starbucks gift card, let alone a franchise quarterback destined to drag Cleveland out of irrelevance.
But there's so much noise around the kid, right? Like, there's so much conversation around it that we have to kind of peel it back sometimes and say, like, the Cleveland coaches are looking at him the way you would look at a fifth-round quarterback with some promise. Like, we have some things we need to work on with him. When he gets to a point where we would feel comfortable starting him in a game, that would be awesome. Yeah. But
they're not naive. I get they know that he's not just some fifth-round quarterback. And I think that probably scared some teams off, but that's a mistake.
Shedeur Sanders arrives in Cleveland, ready to electrify the league, and what does Kevin Stfansky do? He acts like the kid at recess who refuses to share the ball. The moment Shedeur starts warming up, Stfansky's already calculating ways to keep him sidelined. Not because Shedeur's hurt, but because he's too good. Too flashy. Too big for the tiny bubble of control Stfansky has built around himself. And please, let's not pretend this is about player safety. If they actually cared about protecting Shedeur, they wouldn't have thrown him behind an offensive line that blocks about as well as a screen door in a hurricane. Just watch Stfansky at press conferences, his face tells the whole story. You can see the fear dripping off him. Every time Shedeur's name comes up, his voice tightens like he's auditioning for a soap opera. Well, we're monitoring this situation closely. Translation, please stop talking about him before ownership realizes I'm expendable.
He was going to have an opportunity on Saturday in the second preseason game to go out and build on what he did in that great debut against the Panthers. Really, really unfortunate. I mean, when you think about it now.
The Browns front office isn't any better. These are the same geniuses who thought handing Deshaun Watson a fully guaranteed fortune was a brilliant idea, and how's that working out? Cleveland has collected more bad quarterback contracts than some franchises have playoff appearances. And now, when fate finally delivers them a lifeline in the form of Shedeur Sanders, their grand response is to slap an out-of-order sign on him and park him on the bench. It's incompetence served with a side of paranoia. Honestly, this might be the laziest medical cover-up in NFL history. The Browns' injury report might as well read, Shedeur is out with bad vibes. It's like a kid faking sick on test day. Stfansky's the one calling the nurse, sorry, can't make it, my oblique hurts. Meanwhile, Shedeur's in the background sprinting, lifting, grinning, and clearly healthy. The Browns don't look like a football franchise right now, they look like a middle school drama club writing excuses.
Now, this is not good. Shedeur Sanders looked really competent in his first start in preseason, and I was really excited to watch him play this next preseason game. But now we're not sure if he's going to play because of this injury. So what are we going to do? Shedeur, I was really excited to watch you play again because I think you have a lot to prove. So this is a huge bummer. Cleveland Browns fans, what is going on with all of this bad luck?
And then there are the fans. Browns fans might be the most tortured souls in football. They stuck through 0-16, the Johnny Manziel fiasco, and a quarterback carousel that spun for decades. They deserve joy, highlight reels, Shedeur Sanders dropping dimes like Vegas slots. Instead, they get Stfansky at the podium peddling an injury excuse nobody with eyes believes. That's not just cruel, it's insulting. Rival teams are laughing. Picture Mike Tomlin hearing Cleveland benched Shedeur with an oblique injury, he probably spit out his coffee, classic Cleveland. The Ravens, Bengals, Steelers don't even need to beat the Browns, Cleveland beats itself. Shedeur isn't fragile, he's ready. But Stfansky would rather bench him, not for safety, but because Shedeur makes him irrelevant.
Okay? Now y'all know, we don't play about nephew, but apparently they were having a joint practice with the Eagles and the Browns, and he hurt his oblique. So y'all know that's like a muscle strain, but it can be painful. And I know we want nephew to play, but the Browns is just being careful. You know what I'm saying? They being careful because, you know, they got quite a few quarterbacks, but quite a few quarterbacks down. So they trying to preserve nephew for the actual official football season. Okay? But prayers up for nephew, because y'all know auntie gonna be on edge.
And let's be honest, this whole thing reeks of insecurity. Great coaches want stars. Bill Belichick didn't invent fake injuries to hold Tom Brady back. Andy Reid didn't bench Patrick Mahomes because he was too talented. They embraced greatness because it made them look smarter. Stfansky, meanwhile, is hiding his star quarterback like a kid sneaking candy in his backpack. It's pathetic. The Browns are that friend who wins the lottery and immediately loses the ticket. Fans are left staring at the ceiling, wondering what deity they offended. At its core, this isn't about safety, it's about control. Stfansky can't control Shedeur. The kid has charisma, swagger, and game-breaking talent. He doesn't just play quarterback, he owns the field. And that terrifies a coach whose ego depends on being the smartest guy in the room. So, he manufactures an injury to keep himself center stage.
Understand what y'all are saying. Where's the Shedeur mention? You talking about special teams and defense. You singled out somebody on defense. And then you talk about the offense, just no giveaways. Shedeur was the starter for most of that game. He can't get no love? Okay, so that...
The problem is, everyone sees through this charade. Everyone. Even casual fans scrolling Twitter know it's faker than reality TV. And the irony? This stunt is going to backfire spectacularly. By benching Shedeur, Stfansky has only made the hype bigger. The mystery grows, conspiracy theories spread, and fans crave him even more. It's like hiding the hottest new video game and telling kids they can't play it. Congratulations, coach, you just created a frenzy. Now, when Shedeur finally steps onto the field, expectations will be nuclear. And when he delivers, as he will, Stfansky will look like the fool who tried to stop it. Cleveland might as well sell tickets to the Oblique injury show. The only real injury here is to common sense, and the Browns are the ones limping around pretending it's real.